Welcome back to ZX Prequel, and every last Robot Master is dead except for this one.
Awesome.
What's up, everybody? I'm Corn of the Bible, aka your boy Crow Feathers.
Yep, I'm Great Joe. I quit Something Awful and I joined the Pizzone.
The Let's Pizzone.
I'm Heavy Sigh, and I can't stop playing these fan games for some dumb reason.
You're clearly Chip and Ironicus.
Come on.
Obviously.
Together?
Yeah, both of them.
Weird teleporter accident.
You know, I mean, you never see them together, so... I guess you always see them together, actually, now that I think of it.
They're both on camera in the same shot.
Body doubles! Stubbed in later.
It's just like Castro. It's the same thing.
It's just like this weird stage that is one gigantic plant.
Yeah, let's
made
talk
of
about Mega
technology.
Man. So,
The
what's
gimmick for this stage, now that we've gotten that over our systems, is that instead of being just a straight line, like the other ones, this one is actually broken up into 5 discrete paths.
Wait, did they just, like, make that longer? They just, like, lengthened the sprite? Or, it was circular before, right?
No, this is pretty correct. There were 2 separate beehive types. One was in 04 and the other was in 03.
Okay. So what's the gimmick of this level?
Well, the gimmick is that there are horrible tons of bees that are trying to utilize the organic computers in this giant plant for nefarious deeds. So if we destroy all the bees,
Sorry,
it will
organic
fix
computers?
the problem. Yes.
Yeah.
This is Mega Man. There's so much random technology laying over everywhere that plants grow into it and start using it.
This is what they were trying to accomplish in Battle Network 2, but they got stopped. This is what happens if they succeed.
This is the conclusion, the natural conclusion to OLEDs.
That's true. That's true.
Basically, everything in Mega Man after, like, the third Apocalypse is just some weird mix of metal and plant.
The third Apocalypse sounds like an anime movie. Maybe a
I'm
good name
into
for
it.
one.
Lay it on me.
Yeah, like
It was the apocalypse after the second one.
Yeah, like there was an Apocalypse and then another one and then the third one, and like everyone now has giant robots, probably.
Well, see,
Then you're
in
just
the
watching
first
Evangelion.
Apocalypse, Dr. Light became a pod, and then in the second Apocalypse, I think X became a pod.
Yeah. This is, Mega Man ZX3, you cannot reboot.
Alternatively, it could be Mega Man X3, Peas in a Pod.
That's...
I'm trying to understand, but I can't.
What don't you understand?
He's 4 pods.
Oh. I'm glad that my reference communicated itself to you, though. That's good. I'm
Look,
glad.
Anime is universal, and it has the power to unite the world.
That's true. That's true.
Yes, hello, I speak anime.
No.
What?
No.
What?
You really don't.
I kind of enjoy this idea. There's so much in the Mega Man series that, like, in any other author's hands would be, like, incredibly dystopian and horrible, but here it's just backdrop to stabbing robots.
Look, robots are human, and humans are robots, and robots can fuck humans. It's just a thing.
This is how we finally ended robo-racism.
Yeah, they just interbred until there was no racism left. Although, isn't there racism in, like, the later ones because some people are, like, animal robots and some of them are people robots?
No, the last robo-racist was Dr. Whale, who destroyed the planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that being the plot point, but maybe it's in something else, where they're like, some people are weird animal element robots, and some people are just a dude, but they're a robot. Let's be racist.
No, the weird animal element robots are the ones that you know are actually important because they have work put into them.
It's true.
Whereas all the, like, regular dudes you can just immediately discount as just that dude who is basically just an office worker.
I just feel bad for... I feel bad for the guy who has to be a rooster, okay? That's not a great life. Or the dude who's a tardigrade, like, nobody even knows what that is.
I mean, it's really not that bad. I mean, like, you get a quiet life. You can live on your own.
The only robot I feel sorry for is Green Biker Dude.
He lived a full life, and he got to hang out with X. That's all he needs.
Eh. What a cool robot.
He lived a good and full life and died in the line of duty, accomplishing nothing. That's how any Maverick Hunter who's not X or Zero should aspire to be.
What about Axel?
Who?
Who?
Remember Axel?
Oh yeah, the dude, the idiot with the guns. He has to use actual weapons instead of being cool and having them in his body.
No. See, he's talking about the Rose guy.
That's true. Don't you remember when Guns N' Roses crossed over with Mega Man?
Oh yeah, that one, Axel the Red.
Yeah, you had to
Remember
pick.
when Guns N' Roses turned into Mavericks?
You had to pick between Slash, which is this guy, and Axel, who has a gun.
So difficult.
It's pretty hard. Yeah.
His name is Duff McWhalen.
My favorite.
Oh hi, when did you get here?
I think this thing is supposed to have a face somewhere in its design, but it doesn't, and that fucks me up.
This game is the real Chinese democracy.
No, the face is literally right on the front of it. The thing you see on top, those are eyebrows.
Don't you think it's kind of fucked up to make every robot also, like, even if it's just like a tree? Like, why does it have to be a person too?
I kind of enjoy the fact, though, that this isn't actually, like, a robot that was made on purpose. This was an example of just random plants growing into machinery and making their own robot.
It just makes me think of, like, there was a plot point in Star Trek Voyager, which I know, Star Trek Voyager, but the Federation took a bunch of the hologram doctor guy, they made a whole bunch of copies of him and made them mine forever in a hole. And I was just thinking, like, why would you do that? What's the point? What's the benefit?
The Federation just basically does anything.
He's not even, like, a miner.
You couldn't just make a drill and give it a mind?
Yeah.
If you can justify it to the science department, they will give you a grant, no matter what.
It makes no sense, but they said, like, there are millions of them down there. And the reason was that he's a shitty doctor, so they had to get rid of him. But I guess they were like, we'll just make them mine for eternity in a hole forever in space.
Yeah, fuck firing him.
Yeah, like, we can't just, like, turn him off or something. He has to be a miner.
I can't believe it.
There we go.
Weren't there bees in one episode of Voyager? I remember there was one thing where they had bees. Space bees.
There might be space bees. There was an episode where Janeway turned into a lizard.
And started a family, and then left that family.
Yeah, she has a lizard family with Tom Paris, who's also a lizard.
Because she turned into a lizard and thus became Hornet.
Correct, yes.
I'm sorry, Hornets.
That's correct. And she says, you know, sometimes the female of the species initiates mating. And they're just like, okay, let's never talk about that again.
The more that I hear about Star Trek Voyager, the more I feel like the point of Janeway was not to actually be like a regular character, but just terrible.
She is completely insane and terrible. She's really quite remarkable. One time she almost committed genocide for coffee.
It's true.
It's true, because they found, like, a sentient, like, gas cloud, and she said, we can use this to fuel our replicator and make coffee, let's do it! And
To be fair, I think that makes her pretty relatable. Most people would commit genocide for coffee.
yeah, that was her only character trait that they, like, could think of, like, the writers, so they were just like, she loves coffee, and she's the captain, that's it.
And she's like, old middle-aged.
She's middle-aged, she's a lady, she is crazy and stupid.
She don't take no guff.
She doesn't take guff. She has a confusing leadership structure, and she likes Chakotay sometimes, except for when she doesn't.
So that's how the first apocalypse happened.
Chakotay is the best character because they hired an advisor to make him like an accurate Native American, but they hired someone who it turned out was a scam artist and didn't know anything about Native Americans. Which is why he says things like Akuchi Moya, which is not a word that anyone says.
Isn't that like baby talk that you use when you're tickling a baby?
Yeah, that's like his catchphrase, is he says Akuchi Moya. And one time he found they made contact with some aliens, and he was able to bond with them because it turns out that Native Americans are half alien, and that's why they worship nature, just like aliens do.
I'm sorry, but I need to murder something.
And so, because they found some aliens who are on a vision quest, you know, like all those Indians do. And he was like, I relate to this. And they found out the reason is because he has ancestors from that alien species. That was the reason.
Yes, the peyote alien.
Yes.
So doesn't that not make him a Native American anymore?
You could still make that work, because I mean, like, you could just say the aliens are great heroes from the past. I mean, myths always had people sleeping with everything that they could, so why not?
I don't know, he seemed completely uninterested in this revelation, because, like, the guy who played Chakotay hated the show so much that, like, he would constantly try to get fired, but they kept giving him raises instead. So...
What?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
This is true, like, he would go in, he wanted to get fired, but he didn't want to quit because then you don't get, like, you don't get benefits if you quit, right? So he's like, I gotta get fired, I'll just demand more money. And every time they would say, okay, sure, there you go.
Are you sure we weren't watching, like, a video of someone trapped in an ironic hell?
Yeah, like, that's kind of what it seems to have been, where he would be like, I can't accept this contract without, like, 20% more, and they would just say, yeah, okay, cool, you got it. Like, sure.
So really the thing that kept him trapped there was the fact that he wasn't willing to ask for enough.
Right, he didn't ask for, like, 200% raise.
Really, if they say yes, then what do you do?
Well, he would just re-sign the contract, because he kind of had to. And they'd be like, yeah, okay, great, stick around.
Now I'm curious if Star Trek had bees. They probably did.
Is she supposed to be having... Oh, there they are. I was about to ask.
Well, actually, I'm not sure if they had bee robots.
It's a laser bee.
Or robots.
What game is Laser Bee from?
She's the second game. This is a recolor of Queen Bee.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
She also has the sort of a different ability. Instead of missiles,
Whoa,
it's
that's
light.
a big butt.
You can also blow it up and do a bunch of damage. She's probably the easiest boss in the game.
Adam.
Alright, you defeated the bee. The big bot bee. Big butt bot.
The thing about Star Trek is that I don't think they have many robots. I mean, there's the Borg.
There's Data. That's pretty much it. He's
Oh
the
yeah,
robot.
and Lore. Don't forget Lore.
And Lore. And B4 from the movie. And that's kind of all the robots.
Wasn't there an evil Data that, like, destroyed half the universe or something, and that's why they didn't have robots?
That's Lore. Lore is his evil brother.
Oh my god, he's actually named Lore.